Jagannath Swami Nayana Patagami Bhavatu me. Jagannath Swami Nayana Patagami Bhavatu me. Jagannath Swami Nayana Patagami Bhavatu me. The narration of the appearance of Lord Jagannath. King Indradyumna was a great devotee of Lord Vishnu and was very eager to meet the Lord face to face. One time, by the Lord God's arrangement, a devotee arrived in the court of King Indradyumna, and in the course of discussion began talking about an incarnation of Lord Krishna named Nila Madhava. After hearing these topics, Indradyumna became very much inspired and sent brahmanas in all directions to search for and inquire about Nila Madhava. All of them, however, were unsuccessful, returning to the capital city, except for one priest by the name Vidyapati. After wandering throughout many places, Vidyapati finally came to a district whose population was of a non-Aryan type, known as Shabara. While there, Vidyapati took shelter in the house of a local by the name Vishvasu. When Vidyapati arrived, Vishvasu was not there, but his young daughter Lalita was there alone. Within a short time, Vishvasu returned and instructed his daughter to render all sorts of service needed for the hospitality of their Brahmana guest. Vidyapati stayed there for some time, and later, by the special request of the Shabara, Vidyapati married Vishvasu's young daughter Lalita. And while living in the house of Vishvasu, Vidyapati noticed some peculiarity in his host's behavior. Every night, Vishvasu would go out and return on the next day at noon. Vishvasu would return to the house scented with various fragrances, such as camphor, musk, and sandalwood. Vidyapati inquired from Lalita about the reason for this, and she informed her husband that her father would go out to a secret place just to worship Sri Nila Madhava. Now, Vidyapati's joy knew no bounds. Actually, Lalita had been ordered by her father not to tell anyone about Sri Nila Madhava, but she overstepped that order by telling her husband. Immediately, Vidyapati became eager to see Sri Nila Madhava, and so finally one day, by the repeated request of his daughter, Shabara Vishvasu bound the eyes of Vidyapati and took him to see Nila Madhava. And as they were leaving, Vidyapati's wife secretly bound some mustard seeds in the border of Vidyapati's cloth, and so while passing along the path, Vidyapati would throw down the seeds just to mark the way. When they reached Nila Madhava, Vishvasu removed the blindfold, and Vidyapati, now seeing the unprecedented beauty of the deity, began to dance in ecstasy and offer prayers to Sri Nila Madhava. In this way, Vidyapati personally witnessed the mercy of Nila Madhava. After Vidyapati finished his prayers, Vishvasu Shabara kept Vidyapati near the deity and then went out to collect roots and forest flowers for worshipping the deity. While Vishvasu was out, Vidyapati witnessed an astounding thing. He saw a sleeping crow fall off a branch of a tree into a nearby lake, and the crow drowned. But then, immediately, the crow rose up, took a four-armed Vaikuntha spiritual form, and started back to the spiritual sky. So, upon seeing this, Vidyapati climbed up the tree and was just about to jump into the lake himself, following the liberated crow. And as Vidyapati was just about to jump, a voice in the sky spoke. "O Brahmana, since you have now been able to see Nila Madhava, before all else, you should inform King Indradyumna." And so Vidyapati climbed down from the tree and waited. The Shabara Vishvasu soon returned, carrying forest flowers and roots, and then began his daily worship of Lord Nilamadava. As Vishvasu was engaged in the service of Nilamadava, the Lord spoke to him. "Oh, for so many days I have accepted your simple forest flowers and roots which you offer to me. But now I desire royal service offered to me by my devotee, King Indradyumna." So when Vishvasu heard this, he began to worry. "Oh, now I shall be cheated from my service to Sri Nilamadava." So Vishvasu bound up his son-in-law Vidyapati, locking him up in the house. However, after some time, at the repeated request of Lalita, Vishvasu finally freed Vidyapati, allowing him to leave. Immediately, Brahmana Vidyapati went to Maharaj Indradyumna, informing the king of his discovery. In great ecstasy, the king went forth with many people to bring back Sri Nilamadava. From the mustard seeds thrown along the path by Vidyapati, small plants had grown. By following these plants, the king was able to trace out the path to Sri Nilamadava. But when they reached the spot, however, they could not find Nilamadava. And not being able to see the beautiful form of Godhead, King Indradyumna besieged the village of the Shabaras and even arrested Vishvasu. Suddenly, however, a voice in the sky spoke to the king. "Release this Shabara. On top of Nila Hill, you should construct a temple. There, as Daru-Brahman, the absolute truth manifest in wooden form, that is how you will see me. You will not see me as Nilamadav." To build the temple, Indradyumna made arrangements to bring stone from a place called Baulamala, building a road from there to the Nilakandara hill. The holy abode of Sri Kshetra, or Puri, is in the shape of a conch, and in the navel of that conch, King Indradyumna established a town by the name Ramakrishnapura, and then constructed the temple. The temple extended 60 cubits beneath the earth and rose 120 cubits above the surface. At the top of the temple, Indradyumna built a kalasha, a round pinnacle, and on top of that, a chakra. Indradyumna also had the temple decorated with golden ornamentation. Maharaj Indradyumna desired that Lord Brahma consecrate the temple, so he traveled to Brahmaloka and spent a long time there waiting for the engineer of the universe. Meanwhile, back on earth during that time, the temple, which was very near the sea, became covered over with sand from the shore. While Indradyumna was away, first Suradev and then Galamadava took over as kings of that area. And it was Galamadava who raised the temple from within the sands where it had been buried for a long time. Shortly after the temple was uncovered, however, King Indradyumna returned from the abode of Lord Brahma. Indradyumna claimed that it was he who had constructed the temple, but Galamadava put forward the claim that he was its constructor. Now nearby the temple in a banyan tree, there lived a Bhushandi crow who had been living through many ages, constantly singing the name of Ram. From his abode on the branches of that banyan tree, the crow had seen the whole construction of the temple, and therefore he made it known that actually it was Indradyumna who had constructed the temple, and that in his absence it had been covered over by sand. Furthermore, the crow said, King Galamadava had later merely uncovered the temple. So because Galamadava had concealed the actual truth, Brahmaji then ordered Galamadava to reside outside the grounds of the temple, on the western side of the lake known as Indradyumna Sarovara. The king then prayed to Brahmaji to consecrate the temple and the surrounding area known as Sri Kshetra, which gives the highest type of liberation. But Lord Brahma said, yes, this Sri Kshetra is manifest by the Supreme Lord's own internal potency, and the Supreme Lord self-manifests himself. Therefore, it is not within my power to install the Lord here. Lord Jagannath and his abode are eternally situated in this material world by the Lord God's own mercy. Therefore, I shall simply place a flag on top of the temple and give this blessing. Anyone from a distance who sees this flag and bows down, offering prostrated obeisances, shall easily become liberated. After much time, Maharaj Indradyumna became discouraged at so much delay in seeing Sri Nilamadava. So, deciding that his life was useless, the king lay down on a bed of kusha grass, determined to give up his life by fasting. At that time, Lord Jagannath spoke to the king in a dream. "Oh, my dear king, do not be anxious. I shall come floating in from the sea in my wooden form, Daru-Brahman, at the place known as Banki Muhan." Now, with a company of soldiers, King Indradyumna went to that place and saw on the shore a huge piece of wood marked with a conch, disc, club, and lotus. Although he engaged many men and many elephants to move that Daru-Brahman, woody Brahman, they just couldn't even budge him. But that very night, once again in a dream, Lord Jagannath spoke to Indradyumna. "Bring my previous servant Vishvasu, who used to serve me as Nilamadava, and place a golden chariot in front of Daru-Brahman." The king immediately began working according to the instruction of that dream. Indradyumna brought the Shabara Vishvasu, putting him on one side of Daru-Brahman, and on the other side, Indradyumna put the Brahmin Vidyapati. Now, placing a golden chariot before Daru-Brahman, Indradyumna started kirtan, chanting the holy names of the Supreme Lord. The king then caught hold of Daru-Brahman, praying for the Lord to mount the golden chariot. Daru-Brahman was then easily placed on the chariot and then taken to a pre-appointed place. And there Lord Brahma began a sacrifice, establishing a deity of Lord Nrsingadev on the raised platform of the sacrifice. And it is said that the place where the present temple stands is that place where the sacrifice was performed, and that Nrsinga deity, now standing at the western side of the Mukti Mandap in the temple compound, is that very original Nrsinga deity. To carve the deity of Lord Jagannath from the Daru-Brahman, Maharaj Indradyumna called many expert sculptors. However, none of them was even able to touch Daru-Brahman, for as soon as they would start, their chisels would break and fall to pieces. Finally, in the disguise of an old artist, the Supreme Lord himself came, introducing himself as Ananta Maharana. He promised that if he were allowed to work behind closed doors for 21 days, the deity would be carved. So immediately preparations were made. According to the old sculptor's directions, all the other artists were engaged in making 3 chariots. The old sculptor then took Daru-Brahman into the temple and closed the doors behind him, after making the king promise that he would reside alone and that the king should not open the doors of the temple even slightly before the 21 days were up. And after 14 days had passed, the king was unable to hear the sounds of the artist's tools, and so Indradyumna became full of anxiety. And although his minister again and again forbade him, Maharaj Indradyumna, on the advice of his queen, by force opened the doors of the temple with his very own hands. Inside, the king did not find the old sculptor. Instead, Indradyumna saw Daru-Brahman was now manifest in 3 forms as Jagannath, Subhadra, and Balaram. Now, going forward in front of the 3 deities, Maharaj Indradyumna saw that their fingers and toes were unfinished. The king's wise minister informed Indradyumna that the architect was none other than Lord Jagannath himself, and because the king had broken his promise by opening the doors 7 days too soon, Jagannath had manifested himself in this way. Now, thinking himself to be a great offender, Indradyumna decided to end his life once and for all. Again, he lay down on a bed of kusha grass and began fasting. And when half the night had expired, again Jagannath appeared to him in dream. "O king, eternally I am situated here in Nilachala, in this form as Jagannath, Daru-Brahman. In this material world, I descend in 24 deity incarnations along with my transcendental abode. I have no material hands and material feet, but with my transcendental senses, I accept all the items offered by my devotees in loving service just for the benefit of the whole world. And I move from one place to another. Although you have broken your promise, still, this is just a part of the sweetness of my pastimes to manifest this Jagannath form, which protects the eternal words of the Vedas. Anyway, those devotees whose eyes are smeared with the salve of love will always see me as Shyama Sundara holding a flute. If your desire is to serve me in opulence, then from time to time I may be decorated with hands and feet made of gold or silver. But you should certainly know, however, that my limbs are the ornament of all ornaments. Hearing these words from Lord Jagannath in his dream, Maharaj Indradyumna became satisfied, and he prayed to Jagannath. O my Lord, kindly grant that those who appear in the family of the sculptor who manifested your transcendental form may, age after age, assist in constructing the 3 carts. Lord Jagannath, slightly smiling, replied, Tatastu, let it be. O my dear king, the descendants of Vishvasu, who used to serve me as Nilamadava, will generation after generation serve me, and they may be called my Daitas. And the descendants of the Dhyapati, born from his Brahmana wife, should perform my deity worship. And the Dhyapati's descendants, born from his Shabari wife Lalita, they should cook my food. Both of these shall be known as Suryaras. Then Maharaj Indradyumna said to Jagannath, My Lord, kindly grant one favor to me. Let the doors of your temple be closed for only 3 hours a day, and the rest of the time let the doors be open, so that all the residents of the universe may have access to see you. And furthermore, let it be that all day long your eating may go on, so that your lotus fingers may never become dry. Tatastu. Now for yourself, O king, what benediction do you ask? Yes, my lord, so that no one in the future will be able to claim your temple as his own property. I desire myself to be without any descendant. Kindly grant me this one benediction. Tatastu. So be it, let it be. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath. Jaya Baladev, Jaya Subhadra, Jaya Baladev, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath. Jaya Baladev, Jaya Subhadra, Jaya Baladev, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jaya Baladev, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladev, Jaya Subhadra. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagami Bhavatu me. 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thus, the merciful Lord Jagannath, Subhadra, and Balaram appeared in this material world just to benefit all living beings. So what is that benefit they bestow? It is stated in the Narada Purana. Pratimang tatratang drishtva swayang devena nirmitam anyasena vayanti bhavanang me tato naraha. O Lakshmi ji, in that great abode known as Purushottama Kshetra, which is rarely achieved among all the three worlds, the Keshava deity, who was fashioned by Lord Jagannath himself, is thus situated. If anyone simply sees that deity, easily they are able to come to my supreme transcendental abode, Vaikuntha. In this way, Lord Jagannath delivers the whole universe, especially as he rides on his cart before the eyes of all. Therefore, we offer prostrated obeisances to Jagannath, Subhadra, and Balaram on the occasion of their Rathayatra chariot ride, and we pray for them to forgive us for any offense. And we are greatly indebted to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who introduced Rathayatra to the Western world. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagami Bhavatu me. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagami Bhavatu me. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagami Bhavatu me. Transcendental party. The Hare Krishnas are on parade. They call it Rathayatra Day. And the music just can't be beat. We'll be dancing in the street. You can help to pull the carts. Hurry, it's about to start. Festival of the Chariots. You know coming down Main Street. At the park, we'll have a feast. It's ecstatic, to say the least. And we'll be chanting the whole day through. What have you got to lose? Festival of the Chariots. You know it's really sweet when the Lord of the universe is coming down Main Street. And riding on the carts will be Lord Jagannath with his sister Subhadra and his brother Balaram. Festival of the Chariots. You know it's really sweet when the Lord of the universe is coming down Main Street. Festival of the Chariots. You know it's really sweet when the Lord of the universe, he's coming down, he's coming down, he's coming down Main Street. Look out! Namaste Narasimhaya Prahlada Klada Dayane Hiranya Kashipur Vaksha Shilatankana Kalai Ito Nrsimha Parato Nrsimho Yato Yato Yamitato Nrsimha Bahir Nrsimho Hidaye Nrsimho Nrsimham Ading Sharanang Prapaji Namaste Narasimhaya Nrsimhamading Sharanang Prapaji Tabakara Kamala Bhare Nakam Adbhuta Sringam Dalita Hiranyakashipo Tanubringam Keshavadrita Narahadirupa Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Keshavadrita Narahadirupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadish Jaya Jagadish Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jagadish Nrsimhadev, Jagadish Nrsimhadev.